Hello and welcome to Across the Acres, a Beck's Hybrids podcast, where our goal is to connect, challenge, and inspire anybody who would care to listen to us by interviewing other people whom have lived a far more interesting life than either Morgan or I. Not that you're dull.
I know, I get it, man. I get it. Hey.
We're not necessarily remarkable per se.
In our own ways.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Yeah. By golly, we're interesting and people love us.
That's right.
And it's, something like that. Anyway, today we're thrilled to have with us, David Ringer, the host, Morgan Fitch, the producer, engineer, man behind the board,
Hello.
and our guest today, Kate Roth.
Hello.
Kate.
Welcome, Kate. We are thrilled to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
What no one knows yet is that Across the Acres would not exist without Kate Roth.
100%.
And so it's really important for our avid listeners, which there are very many avid listeners who come up to me at these dealer events or customer events, and like, hey, you're that guy on Across the Acres. Yes, that's me. And they say things like, this is really cool, the people that we get to meet through this. And it wouldn't happen without Kate because, Kate, you are our social media coordinator.
I am. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What does that mean for people like me who aren't smart?
Everything that you see online from Beck's, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, I guess, LinkedIn, TikTok, all that stuff is managed by me. So we have, a huge marketing team that helps me, but I'm the only full-time social employee.
And you make a lot of posts.
I do.
A lot.
A lot of posts. And if there's a misspelling in that,
someone will let me know.
oh, I bet they will. Oh, I bet you hear about it.
I do.
And in a hurry.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. Probably not from Morgan, though.
No, because I'm normally the one making the misspellings. And then
No.
Kate has to tell me, or I have to tell Kate to pull it down, and I have to correct it.
Morgan and I work together a lot.
A lot.
Good.
A lot.
Yeah.
And based on the smiles, I'm sensing you don't hate each other.
No?
That's
No.
really cool.
All good.
Yeah.
Because when you rub shoulders with people every day, there's an opportunity for disagreement, and you guys handle it well.
I think the whole marketing team kind of does pretty well at that, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I think we all get along.
I agree.
Outside looking in, I agree.
Sure, there's differences.
Sure.
But
would
I
hope.
think we all tend to get together and kind of work it out and solve it as a family.
Mm-hmm.
It is those differences that make our marketing department as wonderful as it is. Because of the diversity, we have a diversity of output, if you will.
Yeah.
And we meet and greet more people that way. Is
Yeah.
that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kate, tell us about you. Family. Where'd you grow up? How many siblings did you have? Who did you sell on eBay because you didn't like them as a child? Anything,
Whoa.
anywhere you want to go. It's wide open today.
Let's see. So I've been at Beck's for about 3.5 years now. Before that, I went to Indiana University.
Good
I'm a
for
Hoosier.
you.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a lonely Hoosier here.
I was
but
going to
that's
say,
okay.
there's not too many.
Yeah, that's all right. Graduated there in 2020 during the pandemic. Pretty anticlimactic.
Oofta.
Yeah, no graduation, but that's okay.
That's rough.
Yeah. Before that, grew up in Lebanon, Indiana, which isn't far from here, about 30 minutes. I didn't grow up on a farm. I don't have a farming background at all. Mom and dad have been married for over 30 years. I have one brother, twin brother, named Ben. And once I graduated from college, I worked at an ad agency for about a year as a copywriter. And then we both kind of wanted to, my husband and I, Nate, wanted to move closer to home. And so Nate's actually from Cicero and knew Beck's. So he was the one that kind of got me here. And now I've been here for, like I said, 3.5 years and loving it.
Shout out to Mom and Dad and Ben. What's your maiden name?
Gillum.
Gillum.
Yep.
Okay.
Still like that in Cloverleaf, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It still shows up as Kate Gillum, and people are like, who's this? Yeah.
Well, Nate came and commandeered you, and so it's only fair that we wouldn't know Kate Gillum, but we know Kate Roth.
Yep.
It's super cool. And Ben, this is a really bad thing that so many people have asked twins of different genders. So are you identical? Can you believe they would say that? I grew up with Richard and Katie, and Richard and Debbie. Katie's her mom. I'm old. And they would seriously ask him this question.
Yeah.
They're like, are you two identical? They're standing next to each other. One's a boy and one's a girl. Anyway.
Not really.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
But Ben grew up in a special way. He is a special young man. Tell us about Ben.
Yes, Ben has cerebral palsy. Has since birth. It's something that he was diagnosed with at a really young age. But he's technically 3 minutes older than me. So
Ooh, you're the
yeah,
baby of the family.
I am technically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Morgan and I are also.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Special.
And the oldest. Oh,
You are.
oh yeah.
Youngest and the oldest.
Yeah, exactly.
He is.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know life without Ben. So
Yeah.
it's
what a
not
blessing.
anything anything I would change about it.
What's unique for you, I would think, as a twin, but one with cerebral palsy, is Ben wasn't there to be compared against necessarily at school events or athletically, all those things. You weren't compared directly,
No.
but yet you still have probably a part of him in you. That's how twins work. You grew up in the womb together, literally. And so are you connected to Ben in a pretty cool, unique way?
Definitely. And even though, like you said, we weren't compared physically or like in sports or academics and stuff, we did go to the same high school. All of my friends knew Ben. It wasn't Kate's brother, it was Ben. And yeah, I wouldn't be who I am without Ben. I think growing up with a special needs sibling has, sorry, I'm getting a little emo,
That's
a little emotional.
completely acceptable and across the acres.
But he has taught me so much.
Amen. We see life differently when we get the chance to walk alongside someone who sees it differently. As someone who's helped to raise a deaf young man, it has opened my eyes to a world that I would have never saw possible. And it's super cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ever take that back. It's been fantastic. So I get it. It did look different, but I still get it.
Yeah.
When you were growing up, did you rely on Ben for certain things that maybe you couldn't rely on others for?
It's funny. I think obviously I knew like Ben was different in the sense that he needed like more assistance doing things than like what we would need.
Because he's nonverbal, is that
He's
correct?
nonverbal and
Okay.
in a wheelchair.
Yep.
So needs help doing most things. But my parents did an amazing job at, oh my goodness.
It's
Just-
the bright lights.
It
They
is.
make everybody cry.
It's the lights.
You bet.
They never put Ben's disability like in the forefront. They encouraged both of us to pursue whatever we wanted to, and Ben's CP like never made a difference in that. Ben was in some of the same classes as me. It didn't stop him just because he was like physically, not as capable as the rest of us. So I think it's not that I didn't know that he had a disability, but it wasn't something that made a difference.
Absolutely. And even being nonverbal, he's still communicating in so many cool and unique ways,
Mm-hmm.
I imagine.
Yeah, he actually has an eye gaze machine. It's a communication device that hooks to his
cool.
wheelchair, and it tracks his eyes. And so it has a bunch of different buttons on the screen, and it has words on there that we can program for him or that have been on there. And he likes to tell jokes, but it tracks his eyes, and so whatever he looks at speaks for him.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That's very cool.
That is some awesome technology.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody put it to good use instead of making the internet dumber. They made it. That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't have any idea that existed.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
I don't even know how many people have CP. I don't know. It's a pretty
Yeah.
small percentage, I would imagine.
I'd assume so.
I don't know. I have to look that up. Listeners, you probably know, but it's not. I don't meet very many people with cerebral palsy, so I'm not sure the percentages. But
Yeah.
to have that eye gaze machine, it would open the world to their personality that maybe we
Absolutely.
wouldn't otherwise know.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned mom and dad being married for 30 years. That's a celebratory moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for them. And their names?
Brenda and Greg.
Okay. And Brenda and Greg, what would they say about Kate? Are they're awfully proud of their daughter, I'm sure.
I would hope so.
Absolutely, no
Yeah.
doubt. And the whole Beck's thing, now that they know more about it, what's their thoughts on Beck's? What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong?
I don't think they could think of a better company for me to be at.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you did learn what corn and soybeans are.
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
I
you're
mean,
good
I
to go
did
with
grow
that.
up here, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
I
an
know
Indiana
what they
girl.
are.
I was gonna say,
Absolutely.
you went to Western Boone.
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've been
We're
by
right
there.
next to a
That is
cornfield.
pretty
We're
out
next
in the country.
to
Yeah, that's
a
rural.
cattle farm.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's rural.
I had an
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
bet.
I was gonna say I've been past there. It's out there.
This
Yeah.
was a definition back in my day of whether or not you were in a rural school. It's when they opened the windows during warm days, whether or not you could smell manure.
Yep, we could.
Yep. And you qualify as an ag kid. You're in. That was the rule.
Hey.
Yeah.
Not sure that it really even applied to my school, but regardless, we thought we were Hicks growing up. But how big was your high school?
Oh, it was a senior high school.
Yeah,
So
mine too.
yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, it wasn't huge. I can't remember my graduating class. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Not monstrous by any means,
No.
but only juniors and seniors on location for both of
No.
you?
No.
Junior, like
Junior
seventh
high,
grade.
senior high,
7th grade through
5
senior
years
year.
in the same building.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We don't do that in Illinois. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but who knows? 'cause
Small
we don't
enough
have any
to
money.
do that, I
Yeah.
guess.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
A little more family camaraderie, all that.
Yeah.
5 years stuck in the same building.
Yeah. It's a little intimidating
Yeah,
when
it
you come
really
in
is.
as like a, I don't know, 13-year-old
Yeah.
and there's
Yes.
17-year-olds
Yeah.
walking
And then when
around.
you're a senior, it's awesome.
Because you rule the school.
you really
Yeah.
do.
You're
Yeah.
large and in charge.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool. Very good. And then Nate, how did you meet Nate?
Nate and I met at IU,
Okay.
which is funny considering we grew up about 30 minutes apart. But
It's the way it works.
yeah, we met through a mutual friend. Nate's a nurse. And one of my roommates in college was also in nursing school, and she set us up.
Okay. Very nice. Love at first sight.
Yeah, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he would say too, for the record. But
Absolutely.
What do you
well, he
think
better
of his
know.
mustache?
what do I think of his mustache?
Yeah.
I have an unpopular opinion. I like the mustache. But
Is it a
It wor-
Miles Teller type mustache?
yeah,
Kind of. It works well on him.
Okay. They're back.
I
they
know.
are.
I mean, it's the rave
can't
or
do
the
it.
craze. I don't know.
I'm not gonna do it.
Well, I can't grow facial hair. My wife won't kiss me, so it's out. Yeah.
It's funny.
Sorry. It's
No.
that's a deal breaker for me, so I'm shaving every day. Plus, I think I would look like a 14-year-old trying to grow a mustache. It just isn't, not good. Best thing that if you reflecting back, because you're very young yet, relative to maybe some more seniored people in the room, not mentioning any names,
Hey.
best part about growing up?
It's hard to pick one. I think I had a great childhood, but this is kind of contradictory considering I'm the social media coordinator, but I'm so glad we didn't have phones or tablets.
Preach.
I love that we played outside. We used our imaginations in
Oh,
so
yeah.
many different ways. And there are a lot of benefits to the technology that we have, but I'm glad that I didn't have it as a kid.
The very content you create is likely driven from the experiences you had outside as a kid using your imagination. So 20 years from now, if we have an entire generation growing up only on their iPad, well, I guess that can be creative too. But
Yeah.
by golly, go
In a
play in the
different
dirt.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go get dirty.
Yeah,
Come back about lunchtime and we'll see if you're still alive.
exactly.
It's a great way to grow up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Be home by dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, when it gets dark out, make sure you come back. And we'll all be fine. Oh, that's good stuff. If I were to sit down with a great writer and they said, hey, we're going to do a book on Kate Roth, what would have to be like in the foreword? Or what would be chapter 1?
I don't know. I mean, I said it already, but I think, having Ben in my life has made a huge impact. I think you talk a lot about how, I'm a caring person. I'm a huge empath. So I take on a lot of other people's feelings as my own,
Oh,
which is heavy sometimes.
very.
Yeah.
Gone to therapy, so that helps a lot.
You bet.
Yeah. Everyone should go to therapy.
Agreed.
in my
Why
opinion.
not? Right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
You
I
bet.
mean, it's so helpful to talk to a third party that's not involved in what you're doing. And it's so scary to take that step and start talking to somebody, but I could not recommend it enough. It's
Yeah.
great.
That's a really powerful point to make, especially a lot of our listening audience are farmers. And there has been a rising concern about mental health for farmers because it is unbelievably violent in as far as the income goes. Holy cow, volatile, not violent. Volatile swings in the market. That sounded bad. You're supposed to stop me on stuff like that.
I was letting you go.
No, thanks for that. But given that volatility, you have all sorts of weight placed on these men and women who are feeding the world, and their mental health's a big deal. And so thank you for shouting out to therapy because it's important stuff.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody.
Sorry to go on a tangent.
Go.
Please.
Tangent away.
I've only been going to therapy for a couple of years now, but there's been like a couple of things that have happened. Like my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. My dad has skin cancer. My brother's been through a few things. And it was just, even though it was scary to think about, like, what if they bring up something that, like, I'm not ready to talk about? Mm-hmm. What if they dig deeper within me than I really want them to? And, like, what are they going to find out about me that I don't recognize already? That was scary, but it's been so incredibly helpful just to, like, kind of wring out the sponge, you know? And I only go once a month maybe, but it's good to kind of have that reset every month of just like spilling it all out and just getting it out there, and I'm not carrying it by myself.
Good for you. And thank you for having the courage to say this. There is an alternative to therapy, in case you're wondering. Get a good dog and talk to your dog. But that doesn't always work for everybody.
No, but there's so many different kinds of therapy too.
You
I mean,
bet.
if you take just time for yourself, and it doesn't necessarily mean talking to somebody, but like exercising or being outside or whatever your therapy is, just finding time to reflect and do that is so important.
It is.
Yeah.
It's funny too. A lot of I've heard this commentary that mental health awareness is becoming more talked about, and I think that's a great thing. Although, as I reflect back in history and I learn about people like Abraham Lincoln, he was actually very aware of his mental health, namely because his wife struggled with mental illness. And he talked about it openly and freely with his cabinet and discussed how, hey, he was going to go on a walk with his son in the middle of the workday, and if they didn't like it, they could lump it. And I'm like, he got it. Yeah. And that was in the mid-1800s, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
If anybody needs a mental health moment, it's the President of the United States during a Civil War.
Yeah.
So, again, just thanks for highlighting that. And to our listeners, if you want a suggestion on how to get to therapy, we'll help. Just email us or talk to somebody local, please. You're not alone. On a lighter topic, what do you do on the weekends for fun? You and Nate go kayaking or I don't know what.
I like to kayak,
Oh, hey.
but I am a big homebody. I like to be at home. But I'd say like my ideal weekend would be like going to a brewery or something on a Friday.
Trying
kinda
something
hanging
new.
out. Yeah. And I like to be around my family, my friends, but I like to read a lot. So anything like I'm just a very like relaxed person, kind of even keel.
Yes, you are. Whether you know that or not, the community of Becks, our family, would describe you just that way. Boy, she's just really calm person. I'm like, yeah, it's hard to get Kate riled up. So, good job.
Thanks.
We need calm in amongst the storm.
We do. Especially in our department.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
That's a good day.
Yeah.
What book are you reading right now, if you're reading a book?
It's called The Perfect Couple. It's like a mystery, like a whodunit type of.
Ooh, I love whodunits.
I'm about halfway through it. I really like it so far.
The Perfect Couple?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the author?
I think it's Ellen Hildebrandt.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually a series on Netflix, but I haven't watched it
I was going to
yet.
say, is that with Liev Schreiber and
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman are in it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. I wanted to read
Rich
the book.
Family? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now
We
you're
started it.
talking.
Is it good?
From what I saw, yeah.
Yeah, I've liked it so far.
To tag on, there's a great show, Gentleman in Moscow. Ewan McGregor. Wow.
Spy Story?
It is kind of.
Kind of.
But if you're into A Perfect Couple, try that. I think it's A Gentleman in Moscow, and it's on Prime.
I'll take a look.
Oh, wow. Now, you will cry, though. Just warning you now.
I cry at everything.
I
That's
know.
nothing.
You and me both. And my
I told-
wife looks at me. She's like, "Why are you crying again?" This is sad.
I told her to watch a Christmas movie that made me cry every year. Every year I watch it, and I tear up. Did you watch it?
No.
Yeah.
Which one did you suggest?
8-Bit Christmas.
I've never heard of
It's
that.
on HBO Max. Steven knows what I'm talking about.
Steven.
It's good. It's good.
Okay. Well, we're getting all sorts of good suggestions out there.
Yeah.
I like that. Our listeners are going to love this. Backing up just a skosh to something you mentioned that you didn't grow up ag, but how has that benefited you as our social media coordinator?
I think it gives me a different perspective on things. Like, I'm not as siloed in, I mean, no pun intended, but on our industry, you know? I have different interests, and not saying that somebody that grew up in ag doesn't have those interests too, but I feel like I have just a maybe broader perspective because I'm not as focused on like farm life or that kind of thing. But I have learned so much since being here. So my interests have changed a bit, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my algorithm shows it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet. You're getting YouTube videos like, really? I don't necessarily want to watch
All
a guy
those
farm.
Right.
dig videos.
I'm not really looking to buy a tractor, but
Right.
seeing a bunch of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sunny Farms, SONNE Farms. Check them out on YouTube. It'll teach you how to farm in a fun, exciting way. My wife does think I'm a little bit crazy, though, that I watch people farm at night while working with farmers all day. But
It's like the people that go
easy.
home and play Farm Simulator.
Yeah.
bingo. It's who we are. It's what we do.
Yeah.
How do you stop?
Can't.
You just
Nope.
can't. That's
Can't
right.
stop, won't stop.
Is there anything not growing up ag that you wish you knew that you didn't have starting this job?
Not necessarily. I think
Good.
it's been interesting kind of learning it as an adult. And it's not like I wasn't around farms. I grew up with plenty of friends that lived on farms and had livestock and things like that. But I don't know. I think I can almost understand a little bit more as an adult, like the way that we look at things, I guess, as, like from a marketing perspective
Yeah.
too.
Absolutely. You are also reaching your generation.
Right.
There's a ton of value in that because a lot of people are coming back to the farm or whom are farming, whom didn't grow up farming. It's now a business entity. And they're like, hey, I want to get involved in farming. So I'm just talking to a dealer this week who said, I did not grow up in row crop and now I'm farming 6,000 acres. I'm sorry, what? How did that happen? And he had a really cool story. Maybe we'll have him on Across the Acres. And it's just how you get where you get. And to have that outside perspective, he's running it not like a farm, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's just different. And
Yeah.
that's great. We love the differences.
Yeah. And I think like our industry itself is pretty unique in the way like our audience is also different in the sense that we have to look at from a social media perspective, I guess, but I have to look at, you know, those young farmers that are eventually going to be taking over their family farm all the way to the people that are retiring and getting out of it. So that's a huge demographic that we're trying
Yeah.
to target.
Wow.
And I think that's one of the parts about my job that I like the most is looking at that strategy and figuring out who responds best to what, like what platform and what should we post more of and, you know, what excites people.
What
Yeah.
is our leading platform right now? Like,
I'd say it's, I don't know. It's
don't
sometimes a tie, but everyone on Facebook is very loyal. We have a very loyal audience on
Okay.
there.
the
But
good old Facebook.
yeah, TikTok is pretty good actually.
Okay.
There's a huge farming community on TikTok, so which I didn't know prior to working here.
Yeah.
I would never have thought that.
Yeah.
And it shows my ignorance, and probably because I'm old. To find us on Facebook, where would they go?
Just search Beck's Hybrids.
Okay. And it's easy enough. Same thing for TikTok or Twitter or X, whatever that stuff is
Yeah.
called.
All
Okay.
of them.
They're all just search for Beck's Hybrids.
Yep.
You'll find us. On Facebook, we have 2 pages. Is that right?
Yeah, we have Beck's Hybrids, which is industry related content, and then we have We Are Beck's, which is more internally focused. And you know, since we've been growing so quickly, it's kind of hard to keep up with everything that's going
Yeah.
on within the company. So it's fun to have that page to kind of highlight some of the fun stuff that's going on with employees, whether that's, you know, weddings and babies or, and, you know, Beck anniversaries, promotions, all of that kind of stuff.
It's a lot of content
It's
right
a
there.
lot.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 employees, 1,000 dealers. There's a ton of content just in that.
Yeah.
Keeps me busy.
Yeah.
We got to
She
wrap
crushes
this
it.
Well, I was going to say we got to wrap this episode up so she can get back to work. Holy cow.
I have a lot of screen time.
Yes, you do. Yeah, the whole warning each week you get is probably
I
pretty
just ignore
severe.
that.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you for ignoring that. We were joking earlier, but how do you proof a post? You go word by word?
It's a little different for each one, but because I'm the only one that's really looking at them, it's more of me taking either the graphic or like the video from the designer or the video team and, you know, watching that, seeing if I have any edits for that. I normally don't.
Yeah, normally.
And then Maggie, our content developer, I'll take the content, the copy that she's written, and whether it's formed for email, I'll either take what she's written down and rewrite it, condense it for each platform, or I'll take what she's had and do the same thing, even if it's for social, because each platform is a little bit different. So whether that's character count or who we're talking to, you kind of have to change the language for that.
Wow.
Yeah,
There's some layers here.
there are.
Oh, so many.
Wow. Yeah, for the casual observer of what is social media, I'm guessing it's taken for granted what goes into it.
It's a little more than just hitting post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, you do our post, then you have to do stories / reels, all that.
And a lot of them, the platforms make it a little more difficult because they sometimes will highlight things that are posted within the app rather than scheduling them out. So you'll get higher in the algorithm if you post it directly through like Instagram or TikTok rather than posting it in your scheduler. So I don't know why they do that, why they have to play games on me like that. But there's all sorts of hoops. Then they change constantly. So
That's life right there.
yeah.
Yep.
It's always a game to somebody.
Yeah.
And we wonder why we play. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Now, just because we can ask this question, your most embarrassing post, like you put it up there and you're like, no, pull that back.
I don't know if I've had anything embarrassing on the Beck's account. I have accidentally posted Beck's content to my own account. Because you can switch in and out of like
Yes.
your personal, and I have all the Beck stuff on my phone. So thankfully I noticed it quickly and took it down. But you know,
Is that completely gone then? If you pull a post back, is it gone?
unless someone saw it and screenshotted it. then-
Okay. That's the only way they can catch me.
Yeah.
Because I have to switch between these accounts for
Yeah,
the
you
Faith
do it.
Fridays. And because I'm stealing my wife's
Oh, yeah.
account because I'm not
Right.
going to Facebook because I'm that guy. And I'm switching back and forth. And one of these days, I'm going to like try to sell a lawn chair on We Are Bex. And people are going to be like, David, we don't want your lawn chair.
Or they may.
Yeah.
They may
it's
want it.
true.
They may want it. You wouldn't believe.
Those
I put
bad
together a bunch of
options.
miscellaneous garden tools over the weekend.
Oh, I bet.
Oh my goodness. You thought I was
They go
selling
quick.
liquid gold.
Yeah.
It was insane. Like they're garden tools, people. And they're old garden tools. But thank you. Anyway, Zach, I appreciate you buying those.
Shout out, Zach.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Met him at
Wherever
the
you
Casey's
are.
parking lot. Super cool dude. The content that really drives you, motivates you, what excites you. You can't wait to post this.
It's hard to pick one, but I don't. I think, like I said before, I'm really interested in the strategy behind it. So I think it excites me more to look at like what we've done in the past and what has performed the best, and why should we continue to post things like that, and who's liking it and who doesn't like it, and is there a different platform that would like that, and if it's 2 seconds shorter, would that work better, and like things like that. It's not necessarily like a certain type of content. I think it's looking at why it's working or why it's not.
Okay. I thought maybe, I was hoping that your most exciting content was Morgan and I, but
I mean, of course, across acres.
Of course.
Of
That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
meant.
of
yeah.
course,
duh.
I put that softball in a tee and she didn't swing. Very sad. I'm going to go home and cry. just to wrap this episode up here, young lady, you are young relative to other people in the room. We love your youthful energy and your perspective. Is there an advantage you enjoy being young, or is there a disadvantage that you'd like to mention? You're like, man, I wish people don't, whatever. I'll let you fill in the blanks.
I think people my age get kind of a bad rap sometimes. I'm technically Gen Z.
Okay.
So I get wrapped up in all of the Gen Z, like they're always on their phones, which I am.
Well, you have to be.
I know. I have to have like a sign that says I'm working. I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, because they think you're just scrolling.
Right. I'm not wasting time, I promise. But
Okay.
yeah, so sometimes I feel like we get a bad rap, but I'm not afraid of getting older either. I think some people are, which is fine, but I feel like I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm more comfortable in my own skin, and I think if getting older brings more of that, then I'm here for it.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Gen Z has a ton to offer, and we're excited to see what you continue to do. I'm thrilled by the creativity of your generation. I mean, if I could come up with a few generalities that pop into my head, you might be late to everything, but that's okay. You were on time today.
I was.
And not you specifically. Kate's actually very organized in Type A, so she's not going to be late. But as a general rule, people think of Gen Zs, they think, well, they're not going to be on time, and that's not fair. But you're very creative as a general rule. And the other piece I love about Gen Zs is you're not afraid to ask questions just to get clarification. Just tell me more. And why would we do that? I love that.
Yeah.
I'm excited by that. I think that's what makes us better.
Yeah.
So keep it up. Other career accomplishments you want to make sure you get done in the next 5 years?
I guess it's not really specific to me, but when I started here, social media was a committee. And that was only less than 4 years ago. So it was about 5 people, and they had a person per platform. And you could imagine how difficult it was to kind of contain the same brand voice and make sure that we were getting the same point across when so many different people had their hands in it.
Ooh.
So then I took it over, and I'm hoping within the next few years we can kind of have a social team and add, I don't know what that looks like, but at least add a couple more people that can collaborate and have their eyes on things with me.
Great goal. What a tremendously selfless way to look at that question. Thank you. That was super cool. Another advantage to a lot of Gen Zs. You guys do a good job of thinking about other people, but Kate does it better than most. Do you have anything that's on your personal, or you and your hubby together, a must-do for 2025? Visit Paris, or I don't know what.
I mean, I want to run a half marathon.
Oh, on purpose?
Yeah.
Nate would do that with you.
He definitely would do that.
Or, the mustache
He
is
would
going
do
to
it
create
tomorrow.
drag.
I wouldn't do it tomorrow, but Nate would. I'm not big on New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
I think I heard someone say that it's something that I'm trying to remember and tell myself every time I'm questioning what someone does, but it's everybody's first time living. And I love that because I just think everyone deserves a little bit more grace. No one's done this before. We're all figuring it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's just something that keeps coming back to me. So that's my thing for the year.
That is beautiful. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I told my son this the other day. I'm like, but I don't exactly know what to tell you here because you didn't come with a manual. And he's not almost 19 years old. He looked at me and he went, oh, man, that's a huge disadvantage for you, isn't it? He was totally being honest, right? He's like, you've never raised me before. And I'm like, no, I don't know what to tell you to do. And I think most of the times we're living our life that way. We don't know what to do because we've never done this before. Right. And even if you've done something similar, it's not exactly the same. No day is the same.
Nah.
Right.
Especially not at Beck's Hybrids.
No.
Holy cow. It keeps us on our toes.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Well, anything I missed? Morgan, what I miss? You know Kate really well.
I think you covered it. I mean, seriously, you're an amazing asset to the team and
No question.
Irreplaceable.
No
Thanks,
question.
So
Morgan.
don't go anywhere. All right.
And give her a raise.
I'm not going to argue that.
Who's your supervisor?
Kyle Dickover.
Oh, yeah, Kyle. Yeah, definitely get on that, would you? Come on, man. Well, we can't leave without the Fun Fast 5. Are you prepared?
I think so.
I left this off of her episode notes on purpose.
Also, as always, I do not know these questions.
That's right. I keep Morgan
I
in
don't
the dark.
believe you.
I,
Swear.
I don't know this one.
I don't trust him with this high, quality secretive information.
Yeah.
If you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. Outer space or bottom of the sea?
I don't like either. Probably space.
Space it is. Christmas or your birthday?
Christmas.
Okay. Since we just finished that, it's only fair.
Yeah.
Logic or emotion?
Logic.
Okay. Clutter in the closet or clutter under the bed?
Closet. You don't want to see my closet right now.
For as organized as you are.
Oh, I have my moments.
Organized people need a place to
Yeah.
stash it
Yeah.
for a while. You got to have a place.
It's their therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
Bingo. Exactly right. You got to have that place. And then last but not least, passion or stability?
That's hard, but I am a chronic overthinker that needs stability.
Okay.
You and me both.
And the overthinking comes from a desire to please others or just a desire to do it right? Or both?
Both, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a people pleaser.
Shame on you for being a high achiever, too. I mean, that's just weird. Stop doing that. Set the bar lower. Just, yeah. Oh, Sonny's not going to be happy I said that. Yeah, I think
We'll
be
cut
fine.
that.
Yeah, cut
We'll
that.
cut that.
Morgan, that'd be
Cut
good.
that.
I want to keep my job, so.
Yeah.
But-
I didn't say it, so.
You set a super high bar for yourself and potentially for others, or at least the content you create and what people put out there that represents us as a whole. And that's extremely important because it does kind of go out to the world. So it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you're doing a fantastic job of it.
thank you.
So
really
thank
do.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Keep up the great work. And thanks for being on Across the Acres.
Thanks for having me.
You survived.
I did.
You did it.
Just so you know,
I did it.
ladies and gentlemen, there was some potential like pushback. Is that a way to phrase
It
that?
wasn't pushback.
It was just more like,
I was
why me?
Voluntold to do this.
Yeah,
Not
she
by
was
me.
voluntold.
I don't know.
Mainly by me,
Yeah.
but because yes,
But I had
this
fun.
is a story
for
that
the
needed to be
record.
shared.
Good.
It was fun.
Perfect. Thank you. So for our next guest, who's may or may not be waiting in the wings, this is fun. Just so you know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It's been a pleasure to have you along for Across the Acres. We appreciate you tuning in for each and every episode as we attempt to connect, challenge, and inspire. Please leave us a review on the podcast provider of your choice, preferably 5 stars, if you would, please. And until next time, we will catch you across the acres.